Thousands of migrants and refugees have been saved in the Mediterranean this week alone. More than 200 of them have arrived safely at the Sicilian port of Catania. The migrants arrived on the Vos Hestia search and rescue ship, which is operated by the Save the Children charity. On Monday, more than 6,000 migrants were rescued off the coast of Libya. 22 bodies were also recovered. Authorities say the number of refugees rescued on Monday is among the highest recorded in a single day. A spokesperson for Save the Children says many of those arriving in Catania are children traveling alone.
There are many unaccompanied minors. The nationalities of the migrants are Nigerians, West Africans and a big group from Somalia. The minors have suffered greatly because of their long detention in Libya.
Let's get you more now on these developments in the Mediterranean. I'm joined live from Cairo by CCTV's Adel Mahrouri. Also joining us live from Brussels is CCTV's Jack Parrock. Adel, let's begin with you. What more can you tell us about the latest deaths off the Libyan coast?
Well, the search is still continuing, but at the same time, it's a series of a wave that we've been noticing, whether it's from Libya or any other North African country, particularly Egypt, at the same time. So the search is on its way. Bodies are still looking for, but from the experience and from comparisons that we've seen here in Egypt, the process to pick up survivors or look for any confirmed death could take up to several days, if not weeks. So the search is not easy. It's part of a wave of flow from the Mediterranean, from North Africa to Europe. And basically, many experts believe that the coming 2 weeks could witness the peak of the movement as most migrants will try to cross before the cold weather starts, which would hinder the process to traffickers in general and would make the process much more difficult for refugees or migrants to cross in the cold weather at that time.
And Jack, as Adel mentioned, those rescue operations continue. Just how many people have been rescued in the past days?
So it's been an incredible couple of days as we've had the reports coming out with numbers really going up. As Adel said, that the winter months are coming, so the smugglers are trying to push people across as much as they possibly can. So we know Monday and Tuesday combined, there was just over 10,000 people that were picked up by rescue operations. Those rescue operations are being conducted by European navies and NGO ships, somewhere between 30 to 40 ships a day out on the Mediterranean Sea looking for these smugglers' ships. And we're hearing early reports today that at least 600 people have been picked up from ships with potentially 7 bodies found in the Mediterranean. Now the number of deaths is really going up. We know at least well over 3,000 people have died in the Mediterranean Sea trying to make these crossings already this year, and 132,000 have made it to Italy already, refugees, migrants and asylum seekers this year, which is about the same amount as last year in the same time period. But we're probably having to add another 10,000 onto that from the last couple of days, and the numbers are expected to go up.
Right. And Adel, that recent boat tragedy off the coast of Egypt has raised several concerns about the migrant routes out of Egypt. So what's been government's response to the new crisis?
Well, Egypt says it wants to put an end to these trafficking process that has been expanding recently to an extent that when I walked in Rashid City after the boat capsized, citizens in the street, they would point me at people and tell me, this is a migrant broker, this is a man who owns a boat that can deal with migrants. So it has become sort of an open business there. And this is what has frustrated the Egyptian government. They have launched a huge crackdown recently. They've arrested at least 18 people who are accused now of trafficking humans and working in this business. That's beside the 40 already arrested in the Rashid boat, the tragedy that had left dozens killed. At least 200 have been confirmed dead, and more are still missing. Just a few hours ago, earlier last night, the Egyptian authorities have buried 52 migrants of these who have been not identified. Up until now, no family members have claimed responsibility for them, which means that they are probably refugees who have come to Egypt alone, trying to just use this route to Europe.
So frustration in Cairo. Jack, what's the latest on the European Union's cooperation efforts with North African nations when it comes to this migrant and refugee crisis?
Well, there's been some suggestion from some European ministers that the European Union could sign some kind of deal with North African countries like Libya, which is where many of the refugees and migrants are setting sail from on these boats. But where the EU has cooperative operations with Turkey, and that closed the route on that side of the Mediterranean from the Turkish coastline to Greece, essentially the numbers there of people making that crossing have dropped drastically to almost nothing, essentially. Trying to do a deal for the European Union with Libya, where obviously the government of national accord is only just holding on to power in a very slender margin with a lot of opposition. It will be difficult for the EU to come up with any kind of deal to sign off to try and prevent these people from coming across. The European Union knows and talks regularly about trying to get stability for Libya, because once that happens, they can begin putting forward operations and some sort of cooperative measures to try to stop the smugglers operating off the Libyan coastline.
Okay, let's leave it there for now. Jack Barrock live for us in Brussels, Adel Mahri live in Cairo. Thank you, both of you, for joining us.